Hello everybody, how's everybody doing today? First off, I want to start off by saying I was trying to make a video earlier and just be it my luck, the power decides that it's going to go out right in the middle of a live stream. So, yeah, can't never predict the weather. uh, what I'm doing today is I have heard that the current working GC2F that had been going on for the last 2 months is currently patched, but from the understanding that I get of it is that it is not fully patched. The part that they patched is the person who is sitting on the back of the Fagio. So, in other words, you have to make sure whoever is sitting on the back of the Fagio itself is not patched. So whoever is not sitting, whoever is sitting on the back of the Fagio, make sure they are the one who hasn't shut their system down or anything of that nature. And you should still be able to do it. But again, this is not going off of me personally doing it. It's information that I have received. So, before I get this garage tour off and going here, I want to take some time to explain. Number one, there are several things I need to work on with this YouTube live streaming. These are things that I'm learning and I am trying to progress as I go. Um, First thing is I need to remove this banner from the bottom. It's not my first time live stream. I made a video 2 nights ago. For the first time video, just giving it a test run, I did really good. I actually accumulated more subscribers than what I thought I would. Just with a test video, I was actually receiving a lot of love and support from friends and community members, so forth and so on. But before I really get into the tour, I need to take a moment to thank some of the people that make all of this possible. If it was not for these people doing what they do, this stuff would just not be happening. We would not have these things in the game. We would not have access to the types of things that we have in this game, the abilities that we have in this game. So, without further ado, I will give my shout outs to the people that I follow the most on YouTube, people whose information I trust and I hold to the highest standards. Um, First and foremost, I really got to give a shout out to Lost Glitches. He's always putting in a lot of hard work, a lot of time for the community, giving out cars, um, just keeping everybody in tune with the information that they need to have. He does a wonderful job, and he has a lot of wonderful people that he works with on an everyday basis, and everybody in the community is easygoing, likes to have fun. They definitely don't mind helping anybody. Um, just one key thing that I will try to tell you when you're watching anybody's live stream is if you're there and you're anticipating getting a vehicle, you really need to make sure that you are using patience. Patience is a virtue no matter what you do. Um, so just as long as you have patience and you understand that sometimes you might join in a video and you might be able to be right in line to receiving a vehicle, but sometimes you may have to wait. Um, just if you want to get a good idea about how long you'll have to wait, I mean, just really, should go down and watch the comments. I mean, if you don't see a lot going on in the comments, then, you can probably get right in there and get what you need. But if you see a lot of commotion going on in the comments, then chances are you're probably going to have to wait for a length of time. One key thing not to do is not to spam. If you leave a message stating, of course, who you are and, what it is you're looking for, then, these people see it. They see it and they're going to make note of it and they're going to make sure that you get what you need. But, Lost Glitches, definitely, I have to give my shout out to him. Other people, which would include Celestial, um, Obese Giraffe, Mob Beat, King Alex, King Julian HD. Um, the list really can go on and on and on. Probably a lot longer than my video or my garage tour, so to speak. But I just wanted to make sure I get that out the way because this whole thing is about showing love to the community. These people put in countless hours. They do a lot of hard work to make sure that this is all possible for us, the people who play this game, the community. So definitely make sure if you are checking out their videos, please leave a like, please subscribe to their stuff, and if you like the content that they have, please make sure you turn on your notifications. I mean, because if you don't, then you probably going to miss out on a lot of good stuff. So just make sure you hit that notification and drop a comment. Leave a comment. Show the love, show the appreciation for what these people are trying to do. I guess since I spawned in my bunker, it's a good place to start with the garage tours. Ha. Figured it's better to teleport there than to have to drive all the way there. Although I really don't mind driving. I like a lot of the cars in the game. Oh, when I was giving my shout outs earlier, I'm not sure if I mentioned Mob Beat, but I have to make sure I get him in the shout outs. A lot of the people that I named out, I mean, a few of the guys I know, and I actually talked to them personally, and some of them I really haven't talked to much personally, but I'm always watching their videos. I'm always leaving likes. I like their content. They know what they're doing. So I don't believe that there is one single car that I have that I don't like. I swear I wish that hadn't happened. It's really sucks to be in the middle of a live stream and then power just goes out. So I hope you guys will understand that. I didn't just kill a video for no reason. Just to let you know though, these cars that I'm showing, I mean, I'm definitely, like I said when I mentioned the people in the shout outs and stuff, I am definitely not taking any credit for creating these cars. Definitely not taking any credit at all for certain cars, which I will point out, certain cars that I did not personally change the paint on. Um, because I mean, neither the paint nor the car was anything to do with my creation. But the majority of what I have applied my own color paint to, my own personal Yankton plates. First and foremost, when I do change colors on cars that I receive from other people, if it does have the 3D paint on it, I change the color without affecting the 3D paint. I pay attention. I mean, of course, we all should know by now that the safe way to do that is by changing the color, of course, using crew color, but make sure you apply it to the secondary. Don't mess with the primary. But on certain cars, you really need to make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing. So when you select the primary as the crew color before you actually hit the button to accept that change, just give the car a real good look, because sometimes you can go around and you can see somewhere like maybe on the hood or the top of the car or down the trunk or something, that it would actually scratch the 3D paint. Yeah, you would still see the 3D paint around like wherever your primary part of it would be, but any part that's dealing with the secondary, it definitely got to make sure you pay attention to make sure it doesn't scratch that color. Of course, I mean, if it's just your personal wish to do that, then by all means. Um, Speaking of which, this lurcher right here, this is not a paint job that I put on it. I think I did change the pearlescent to it, but I did not do this paint job. Everything else in this garage is a formation of different crew colors that I use for vehicles. I have to watch myself though, because sometimes I get carried away whenever I come across the crew color that I like really well. Before I know it, I've done turned every car in that garage the same color. And for some reason, that gets on my nerves. I like to have variances of colors. You will see primarily big dogs on my character. I do have some other variances of Benny's wheels, but rest assured, when I do my live streams, I will have people in the live streams who have the other variances of Benny's wheels. And some people, I'm sorry, excuse me, some of those guys would have a lot of the same cars that I have, just with different rims, and some of them would even have some cars that I just do not have. Um, so it definitely don't get caught up by just seeing primarily the big dogs in my garage. I mean, I'm doing these tours and I'm doing these videos because just pretty much I get out in the community. A lot of people know me. A lot of people know that I trade, and then a lot of people know I'm pretty good at finding stuff that I might not have that they want. So that's which is my whole purpose of doing this to begin with, is just to share an extension of being helpful to the overall community. Um, First and foremost, being respectful to the overall community, and definitely not trying to take credit for anything that I did not come up with, discover, or do myself. So there you go with that. I mean, it's a good thing to make sure you keep the respect part of it. So once you start throwing respect out the window, I mean, you can really find yourself like by yourself very quick. As to where you knew all these people and you could talk to them every day and get stuff from them every day. You know, if you don't pay your respects, you can rest assured slowly and slowly you're going to be losing your access to the things you may want or want to do in this game. And let's not go into the same garage. But it's just something to keep in mind. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to show their complete support, and then I know there's going to be a lot of people who the only support they have is to pretty much hate on you for what you do or whatever. I mean, everybody's welcome. We welcome the good and the bad. We welcome the support and the haters. Kind of takes a little bit of everybody to make anything possible. Of course, the burger shot car, I did not put the color on because this game does not want you to change this color. Coloring on both of these vehicles I've played with back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I know I've invested stupid money um, changing colors on this Hermes and the Yosemite here. I mean, I do have a lot of colors that in the garage. I mean, they'll look a certain way. Out in the sun, it'll look a completely different way. I like to explore what I can do with the colors on the vehicles. And I mean, I know the majority of the cars that I have, a lot of people do have, but what sets mine apart from them, and this is also going on feedback that I've received from other friends that I trade with and other people, that the colors that I do, which I mean, the colors that I do may not be appealing to everybody, and I know this, but there are a lot of people who just like the way I do paint, which I appreciate because I do put a lot of time, as you can tell. I got some cars that I'm still not happy with the paint on. I just feel like personally the paint job on that particular car could be better than what it is. Huh. I've seen a bunch of these vans. Um, what- Actually seen it in this color, which I didn't do. Um, but I definitely would have if I could have put it on this. But it just won't let you change the color. So, but needless to say, I haven't seen many of them that were this color. Seen a bunch of different colors, just not this one. Not a lot. Just to be informative to everybody, when I do videos, I will be covering a lot of the current working GC2Fs, solo glitches, car duplications, that kind of thing. I even will sometimes do tutorials on maybe how to do some of the paint jobs that I do, or uh, maybe even trying to help out subscribers and friends do heists and things of that nature. So um, I will try to cover, a variance of things that I do instead of just trying to do, straight live streams about the same thing over and over again. But I do know the GC2F part of everything will be the majority of what goes on. If I can get everything going straight with my crew, then I will probably do some live streams on the crew meets that I have, or maybe even host car meets. I mean, I would love to host a car meet. Um, I think that would be a lot of fun to get a lot of people from all around together with all of these variances of modded cars and everything, and just see if we just can't make one big kick-ass video. Yeah, thanks for being here, Goofy. Thanks for watching the channel. I will be glad to help you do that. I'm just trying to go through my garages real quick, just to try to give people a tour of cars that I collect. Um, I know you wasn't here earlier, but on this character, I primarily collect these big dog rims, but when I do live streams to give cars to friends and stuff like that, I will have other people in my live streams that have many other different variances of these Benny's rims, and anybody inside of my live stream that are going to be there working with me, they're going to be more than willing to help provide these vehicles. Um, I very seldom will have times where I'm only offering out like certain cars, but then um, like the first video that I did was because I was pretty much just having people come in. They were telling me what they were looking for, and if I had it, I brought it out. If either one of my friends had it, then they brought it out. So, I mean, my my first video, I definitely received a lot of support. I definitely received a lot of good positive feedback. So, which is what's led to doing another video. Definitely have to show my thanks for you subbing and dropping a like. I appreciate that. What is your gamer tag? It's on PS4, I would assume. But what is your gamer tag? So that way, when I get done with this, I can look you up and we'll get together in a chat party and discuss this money glitch. Okay. Well, never mind then. We're already friends. Alright. I understand. Yeah. When I get done going through this garage or whatever, I'll make sure that I'll catch that invite that you sent. I mean, if everything goes well with that or whatever, I'll possibly be willing to maybe live stream again, and we'll get together and make a video of that. If you're willing to do that, I'm willing to do that. This is one of my favorite cars. Don't matter what color I put on this car, I like it. I could literally sit here and go through every color on the book with this car and it won't look bad at all. Not to me anyway. These cars on this side of the garage, it took me some time to acquire. The only one that's out of place is this Duke of Death. Michael's car should be there, but it should be all the story mode character cars with the exclusion of Tracy's car and the BJ, which would have been Michael's son's car in the beginning of the game on story mode. Yeah, bro. I've been at collecting for quite some time. I did start out my collecting just a bunch of different things. And the more I started collecting cars, the more I kind of fell into collecting just a certain type of Benny's wheels.
Hey, gorgeous.
You know, it would help if I would hit the right stuff. Who are you blowing your horn at? Let's go ahead and go in here first. Not much to see in here other than this thing right here. Never thought that would be possible. But seeing this gives me hope for possibly seeing something like that on these two over here at some point. The security guard, I don't really know what he's doing there except running down batteries. Of course, that would be the regular version of that Speedo custom. Obviously, shout out to Celestial. Anybody out there come out with these cars or find them, please let me know. Either one of these two. The Swinger and the Stafford. Those are definitely a hot item. Which I really feel like maybe somebody out there has them. But they're definitely not trying to come off of them at the moment. I'm sure it's for good reason. Doing give cars to friends. Um, when there's one working, there has been one working for the last 2 months, and um, you had to have like certain requirements to be able to do it. I mean, of course, you had to make sure that you had a bunker and an MOC with the personal vehicle storage. And then, other than that, you just needed to make sure that you had a Fagio in the back and at least 3 friends. Well, 3 people altogether, you and 2 other friends. But there was also a 4-man method that was working at the same time, which some people preferred the 3-man method, some people preferred the 4-man method. Um, I was actually able to do both. I learned the 4-man method before I did the 3-man method. And right now, from what I hear, that GC2F is patched, but unless I'm taking it the wrong way, it's not fully patched. It's anybody who basically shut down their system. Um, they, like, I think, like, between last night and this morning, the part that got patched was the person who actually sits on the back of the Fagio. Um, if they're patched, then you won't be able to get the car. But as long as you can find somebody who hasn't shut their system off within the last 12 to 24 hours, then you should be good to go to receive a car. But I mean, you would definitely have to personally ask whoever's sitting on the back of the Fagio if they had, shut their system off or whatever. This was a cool color to play around with. It's supposed to be Red Dead Red. Uh, I just thought it looked really good on the car, tied together with the color on the rims. Good old oppressor. This thing used to be the most loved, hated thing in this game. Don't see many people on them no more. Everybody's moved on to the Mark II oppressor, which I like myself. You know, I've personally got on the game several times and said I'm going to drive every car I have at least once while I'm on the game. That never happens. I'll start going through cars and I get the one that's one of my favorite ones and I end up driving that thing the entire time. Some cars in these nightclub garages, some of the cars I am looking for trades to receive these cars, of course, on big dogs. But more importantly to me, the Yankton plate. I had found this car on big dogs, but it didn't have the Yankton plate, so I went ahead and snatched it up just in case I didn't get my opportunity to get it later on down the road. But I'm gonna get a good look at this. A lot of people walk around, they just think it's a chrome van. Most of the time I have to stop people and I'm like, yo, check it out, look a little closer. I am glad that they did add the nightclub there because I was running out of places to put these vehicles. So that, yeah, I'm currently in a live stream right now. Hey, what's going on? Ah, cool deal. Yeah, man, I got to remove that banner down on the bottom. It's not my first time video. My first time video was 2 nights ago, but uh, I just figured since I had a moment or whatever, I was hearing word that the give cars to friends thing was patched, so I figured I would try to make a video. I seen a couple of people doing like garage tours or whatever, so I figured I'd give that a shot. And I attempted to do it just a little while earlier, and the all the rain and stuff that I'm having outside was messing with the power, so it killed everything like mid live stream. I was like, way to go, that was great. Wow. Well, I would definitely appreciate it, man. No doubt. Hey, my first video that I did, I mean, it was pretty much like a test run just to kind of get a feel for it, just to, check for video quality, audio quality, that kind of thing. Which was a good thing that I did for it, because I know probably for the first little while in the first video, um, I didn't even have the mic part turned on, which I knew something was going to go wrong, but that's why it was only a test video. But for the number of subscribers that I got off of that first video, I mean, that was overwhelming. I mean, some people might say it wasn't a lot, but I mean, to me, it was a lot anyway. Oh, I'm trying to finish the work on my truck so I can get back to the game. And my water pump on my truck was giving me some issues. Figured I need to go ahead and fix it before it started getting really cold around here. I'm on the East Coast. Get back out the car. No, character, I want you to open the door and walk away. Thank you. A lot of people show the car, but they don't show that it's actually got like glitch seats on the inside. I remember before I got this car, I was looking everywhere trying to find this car. At the time I received it, it was really hard to come by with these wheels on it anyway. A lot of people had like a lot of different kind of rims on it. So what you been up to today, man? There was a time. Oh, go ahead. Oh, there was a time I was into that game pretty heavy, but I don't know. I just kind of got out of it. Wow. Right. That's the Phoenix, right? I think the regular. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's right. That was a different car. I'm sorry. It to me it kind of looks like the same style car, but maybe like a older model. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes the logic in this game kind of confuses me a little bit. It's like like whenever you play like a racing game or something like that, like you'll see the car and it'll have like the actual like name of that car on the car and everything, but I mean you see a lot of these cars in this game and I mean you know what the car looks like, but it's just not called what it should be. I like how I ended up putting this car just in the right spot in this garage for that sunlight to catch that paint job. This one's got a decent paint job on it too. I kind of wish the sun was hitting it. A nice silver crew color. Yeah, I am because when I was doing these garage tours, I didn't feel like being messed with by anybody, so I just went to an invite only session. Well, sounds. Well, I mean, it's all about your personal opinion of that vehicle, you know. I mean, when a lot of people get cars from friends, they keep it just like it was when they got it, and you have some people like me, um, who I just kind of feel like I want to put my own color on it. I mean, as long as it's not going to mess up anything like 3D paint or something like that, you know. But you do have to be careful with that because there's a certain way to do it without messing up the 3D part. But on certain cars, you still need to look really carefully before you actually make that selection because if you're not paying close attention and you go to change the color, it might scratch like some of the 3D part off the car. Like because you primarily would like change the color only using a crew color, and make sure you go into secondary to set that crew color instead of going into primary, and that'll pretty much keep the whole 3D part, but just change that car to color of your crew color. But you'll still have to watch certain cars. It'll actually take the 3D part like off the hood of the car, the roof of the car, the trunk of the car. If not all three, you just have to pay close attention to it before you actually make that selection. I mean, because I've done it before, didn't realize it, and then I get outside the mod shop with it, and I'm like, oh man, I just messed this car up. Then I'm having to find who it was I got that car from so I can get it back from them. If it was invite only session, I have to invite you. If it was a friends only session, you could just join. But I sent you an invite. Gage, you obviously like missed the first part of the video. My in my first part of the video, I definitely gave credit where credit was due. I gave shout outs to pretty much people who make the majority of this possible. Again, I will say I cannot take any credit for actually making these cars, bringing them online. The only thing primarily that I am taking credit for is the hard work that I put into finding these cars and actually getting them. And, aside from that, doing the paint jobs that I put on the cars, um, you know, changing the Yankton plates that are on it, putting my, personal Yankton plates on it. Um, Jacob, also earlier in the video, I found out when I had that power issue earlier and it cut off my first video. The GC2F is not fully patched. The part that they patched on it was the person that sits on the back of the Faggio. Um, Whoever you have sitting on the back of that Faggio, you have to make sure that they're not patched. For some reason, that's like the only part of it that got messed with. So just make sure whoever's sitting on the back of the Faggio is somebody who hasn't closed down their app within the last 12 to 24 hours. Um, as long as you can find somebody like that to sit on the back of the Faggio, then you should still be able to receive the car. I haven't tried it myself. I am going to go after this garage tour. I am going to go and try to give that a shot to see if um, I can actually make it work. But yeah, I really don't think even if you like lost power or your app closed down or whatever, I really think you'll still be able to receive cars. That's how it was told to me. You'll still be able to receive cars. It's just you yourself won't be able to be on the back of the Faggio trying to help somebody else receive a car. It's strictly whoever's sitting on the back of that Faggio needs to make sure that they're not patched. Uh, 3 or 4. That would be the person given the car and 2 to 3 other people. It just depends. I can do both ways. The Act 2, the Bogdan heist. Yeah, yeah, I know it. I know it. We'll go over it um after the live stream because this in this live stream I'm just doing a certain thing. I mean I'll cover something like that on another live stream. Whew. I really feel like this car right here should be faster than what it is. I guess it's just the overall look of the car. I mean, you definitely don't get the impression that you be like trying to go really fast around curves with that thing, but alright, no problem. This T20 right here, still one of my most favorite cars. Just overall, it's just a real nice looking car. And I like that self-retracting spoiler. This is a paint job that I've put on this truck. I'm a story about this truck right here. I actually received this truck from somebody else, and it was like hot pink when I got it, and it had regular rims. Why I don't know, but it had regular rims on it, and they were like blacked out. So when I got a hold of this truck, I decided to put my own thing up here, and I have gotten a lot of positive feedback from this vehicle. This was the car when the Tesseract here, when it first came out, and I was able to get the factory rims painted a certain color. I told myself that it didn't matter what rims somebody put this car on. I liked the factory rims that was on this car. I still have my original version of this car on the factory rims that I done on my second character. But when I seen these rims on this car, I figured I might as well just go ahead and collect it and throw it in with the collection. Throw my paint on it. Turned out pretty good, I think. I need to remember who was asking for this car the other day. I told them I had it, but we didn't never get around to it. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, I do have a lot to learn about this live stream, but as I get everything set up right, um, I will be able to do these videos more better. I do appreciate the patience. I do appreciate all the support, and I definitely take any advice that I get. That's crazy, man. You shouldn't do that. Will you cut the music off? Thank you. Alright, and we're gonna hit that. Well, I think I kind of, yeah, I can still use it. Saves me from having to drive out there. If you hear the noise in the background, I do vape. I'm not over here trying to try out for Star Wars. I'm not trying to be Darth Vader.
We are now implementing a 360 feedback process. If you see it, say it.
Um, just for future reference, I will be making videos covering how to use this orbital cannon. Again, this is for people who don't know about it, but we'll be making videos about how to use the orbital cannon without costing you any money, and an effective way of being able to get right back in the game and being able to use it again without having that stupid cooldown time. I mean, if they're going to charge you 500k to 750k to use this thing, I don't really see how it's right to give you a cooldown time from using it. I mean, if somebody wants to sit there and use this cannon like 4 times in a row and they want to spend 750k every time to do it, I mean, by all means, let them do it, right? It's their money they're wasting. Eventually, they're what? They're going to run out of money, right?
Social media usage is not acceptable in the facility unless it is authorized.
Um, Gage, are you just in a party by yourself that you just started up, or are you in a party with other people? Okay. Um, I mean, if it's cool with you, drop your PS4 gamer tag down in the comments right there, and I will send you a friend request, and I'll get you into the chat party that I'm in right now. Hey, I am like in the live stream, so like whenever you do that, like mute your mic or something. They should be able to. Okay. I did have it set where everybody could be heard. I guess it set itself back. I don't know. All right. Well, that pretty much goes through everything that I have on my big dog character. I do have stuff on my second character and on another profile, but that will be for another video, of course. I would like to thank everybody for joining in. I, of course, like to thank anybody who dropped a like. I definitely like to thank anybody who subscribed. And if you do like the content that I am putting up and the content that I will be doing, if it's something that you're excuse me, please make sure you turn on your notifications, because that will be the only way that you can keep up to par with the videos that I put out. Um, the information that I display in the videos will be coming from what I call are my most trusted sources, which will be uh, some of them are directly from the source of the people who actually come up with these glitches that I will be covering. Um, some of them are people who are actually responsible for these cars being in the game right now. Yeah, I definitely call them my most trusted sources on information. So with that said, I really hope to see everybody back during my next video. And as always, just go out there, have fun, play the game however you feel, but just, you know, always know it's never a good policy to set out to make an ass out of yourself. So, you know, just try to share positivity, try to play along, and definitely be helpful. I have found out in this game, even being helpful to, dare I say, the biggest ass in the game, um, could actually get you a long ways. I mean, I've made friends with people who really, we started out fighting in a session, calling each other names and everything, and before the end of the day, we're both on each other's friends list, and we both get along and, you know, do things together. So, you know, just like I said, You know, be positive. Try to cut back on that cutting everybody down thing. I mean, everybody has bad days. Just keep that in mind. All right. So, with that said, we'll catch you guys later on the next video. Everybody have a good day. Thank you.